hindi ko lang maintindihan talaga. There are two things that as a matter of policy pinapayagan dito sa sa Pilipinas, yung pagbibisita ng isang detenido, no, sa isang detention facility. Pero hindi pinapayagan sa ICC. Unang-una, ah, yung pagbibisita ng ibang tao other than lawyers and immediate family members. Dito sa Pilipinas, kahit kaibigan pwedeng bumisita. Obviously, regulated po yan within visiting hours, pero pwedeng bumisita sa isang detenido. Doon po hindi pwede, very restricted yung pagbibisita doon. Pangalawa, yung pagkain. Alam natin na yung pagkain, ah, yung pagkain Pinoy or to put it more specific, yung pagkain Cebuano ni Mayor Digong, ang gusto niya, no? Yung mga yung munggo, paksiw, tinola, yun po yung gusto niya na na pagkain. And yet, hindi siya nabibigyan ng ganong klaseng pagkain kasi iba nga yung pagkain na binibigay doon sa Netherlands. So, pero dito, sa Pilipinas, pinapayagan tayo na kung ano yung gusto ng detenido, na pwedeng magdala ng pagkain galing sa labas. Pero yun yung mga ganong klaseng restriction na that they have in the ICC, which we don't understand because pinapayagan tayo dito sa Pilipinas,
Opo.
given his age and his health. No? I've seen him before he was flown out of the country. He was already weak, and we know that he's already 81 years old. And but I like to believe, no, kahit na medyo mahina siya, he would like to get this through insofar as the trial is concerned because even to this very day, he still believe two things. Na walang jurisdiction yung ICC and he continue to invoke that position na wala pong jurisdiction ang ICC over him. And if ever there is a case, it should be brought before the Philippine court. Pangalawa, he continued to invoke his innocence in all the charges brought before him.
Kumusta po ang ating dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte dyan po sa ICC?
We haven't had any contact except for the family who have visited him. What I heard is that the ICC has asked that the items that he brought with him when he was rendition to The Hague on March 11, 2025. The ICC prosecutors would like to have it ceased, and I think the ICC have granted the request.
May legal na basehan ho ba yan, attorney, yung pagsusuri doon sa mga personal na gamit? Wala ho bang nilalabag po yan?
I don't see any legal basis. I'd like to put that in context if you would allow me.
Yes, ma. Sir.
Kasi nandun po ako noong March 11, 2025, nung inaresto at kidnap yung dating Pangulo. Uh, uh, if you recall, talagang mabilisan na situation was very fluid, especially at the time in the evening when he was already being brought to the bus. So hindi namin alam kung anong gagawin namin, hindi nga namin alam kung anong dadalhin niya. So wala talaga siyang, ang sinasabi pa nga sa balita na the ICC would seize the money would seize the money that was with him at the time. That's baloney. That's actually false because wala po siyang talag pera. If you would recall, yung dating Executive Secretary Bingbong Villaldea who accompanied him to The Hague, while on the plane, yung dating Pangulo pa nga nagtanong kay E.S. Bingbong kung may pera siya at nagtanong si E.S. Bingbong kung bakit. Sabi niya, bilhin natin ng damit yung mga pulis kasi pagdating sa Netherlands, sobrang lamig doon. So siya na mismo nagsasabi na wala siyang pera. So why is there such a news na money is being seized from him at the time when he was brought in there? Pangalawa, when the plane landed at The Hague on March 12, 2025, pumasok pa yung representative ng ICC sa eroplano and conducted a what you call a checklist, no? As regards kung sino nandun sa loob, kung sino si dating Pangulo, ano yung initial kalagayan niya, no? And he was brought out. If I may, perhaps the authorities can confirm this. He was brought out on a stretcher kasi sobrang haba ng biyahe na pagod yung dating Pangulo. So yung mga ganong klaseng balita po, ah, nakakabahala kasi wala pong basihan.
Opo. At hinala nga daw ng prosekusyon na yung mga susi daw, attorney, ay maaring magbigay daan doon sa mga taguan ng mahalagang dokumento bukod doon sa issue ng pera o mga ari-arian na may kinalaman daw sa kaso ng dating Pangulong Duterte. Anong masasabi po ninyo?
Are we referring to susi, yung case?
Yes po.
Case sa bahay?
yung,
Or, ay
ang,
nako, kalokohan po yan.
kasama
Wala
po yun sa
po.
personal na gamit, sabi. Na
Ay nako, kalokohan
kabilang
po
sa
yan.
susuriin.
I was there when he was brought into the bus. At hindi namin alam kung hindi nga namin alam anong damit ang dadalhin niya para lang may maisuot siya sa eroplano at pagdating sa Hague. Talagang hindi ko alam kung saan nanggagaling yung balita na yan.
Opo. Pero gusto ng prosecution din na attorney na dagdag ebidensya po daw ito laban po sa dating Pangulo.
But it assumes a fact not established kasi nandun nga ako eh. Paano mangyari na magdadala siya ng susi sa bahay, susi ng multahe while he would be actually on travel? In fact, if you would recall, he and his group, his entourage, came from Hong Kong for an engagement there, and he came back to the Philippines, notwithstanding the fact that there were already reports of a standing warrant against him.
Mm-mm. Kaya ang sabi po ng depensa, fishing expedition ang ginagawa po ng prosecution no, ng ICC attorney.
Definitely.
Mm-mm. Kasi kung makikita po ninyo parang dahil kukunin nila o susuriin nila yung susi, ibig sabihin hindi po sapat yung ebidensya po nila at hindi matibay po yung ebidensya nila. Tama ho bang ganung naratibo o argumento, attorney?
Pwedeng ganun ang paningin, pero pero sa mas malawak na pagtingin dito, Jade, ano po ito eh? Matagal na po nilang pinag-imbestiga ito at nakuha na po si dating Pangulong Digong noong March 11, 2025. Mahigit isang taon na po. Ngayon lang po nila maalala that they are supposed to do that at this stage of the case, at the trial phase of the case. Yun po ang nakapagtataka at this point in time kung bakit nilalabas itong ganitong klaseng tinatawag na naratibo.
Opo. Opo. Maaari ho bang igiit po ng depensa attorney na may karapatan po o baga nilalabag po yung karapatan ng privacy ng dating Pangulo o ng mismong pamilya dahil nga dito sa gustong o nais ng prosekusyon na suriin po yung mga personal na gamit ng dating Pangulo?
It may be possible that whatever he might have in his possession at the time when he arrived at The Hague and was brought out of the plane. By the way, I would like to put it in context.
Yes, sir.
Was brought out of the plane because yung yung eroplano po na nagdala sa kanila sa Hague is still considered Philippine territory. So ibig sabihin, yung paglabas niya sa eroplano is already foreign territory or the territory of Netherlands. And for which they may no longer have any jurisdiction, well, insofar as whatever is happening inside the plane is concerned. So, yung gamit po na dinala sa paglabas niya, which I doubt very much na meron pa siyang meron siyang mga ganong klaseng gamit ng when he was brought out of the plane. As I've said, he was so weak that he was brought directly to the hospital. That was what I was told.
Opo. Pero ginagalang naman ho ng ICC, tama ho ba, attorney, yung right to privacy ng isang individual na nakakulong ngayon sa kanila?
I suppose so, kasi we also honor that even under our jurisdiction.
Opo, kasi alam mo naman po, iba tayo dito tapos sa kanila, baka may iba din po silang mga rules na maaring malabag po yung karapatan ng isang individual na nakakulong tulad nga po sa kaso ni PRRD.
Uh, that having said, hindi ko lang maintindihan talaga. There are two things that, as a matter of policy, pinapayagan dito sa sa Pilipinas, yung pagbibisita ng isang detenido, no, sa isang detention facility. Pero hindi pinapayagan sa ICC. Unang-una, ah, yung pagbibisita ng ibang tao other than lawyers and immediate family members. Dito sa Pilipinas, kahit kaibigan pwedeng bumisita. Obviously, regulated po yan within visiting hours, pero pwedeng bumisita sa isang detenido. Doon po hindi pwede, very restricted yung pagbibisita doon. Pangalawa, yung pagkain. Alam natin na yung pagkain, ah, yung pagkain Pinoy or to put it more specific, yung pagkain Cebuano ni Mayor Digong, ang gusto niya, no? Yung mga yung munggo, paksiw, tinola, yun po yung gusto niya na na pagkain. And yet, hindi siya nabibigyan ng ganong klaseng pagkain kasi iba nga yung pagkain na binibigay doon sa Netherlands. So, pero dito, sa Pilipinas, pinapayagan tayo na kung ano yung gusto ng detenido, na pwedeng magdala ng pagkain galing sa labas. Pero yun yung mga ganong klaseng restriction na that they have in the ICC, which we don't understand because pinapayagan tayo dito sa Pilipinas.
Opo. Maaari ho ba itong makapag-dulot ng delay doon sa pagdinig sa kaso ng dating Pangulong Duterte, attorney, itong motion ang prosecution dyan po sa ICC?
Posible po kung hindi ma-resolve early insofar as the motion of the prosecution is concerned. But then again, as I've said, they have more than 1 year to prepare for the case, for trial, in that sense. So, nakapagtataka kung bakit ngayon lang nila naisip na gumawa ng motion na ganyan. Na sa palagay ko, because I was there, talagang walang basihan. At the time when he was brought out to the bus, into the plane, and was flown out of the country.
Opo. Doon naman po sa issue ng pag-freeze sa mga baga pinansyal, no, o sa mga salaping na kumpiska nga mula sa kay FPRD nung siya po ay maaresto, attorney. Tama ho ba 'yon?
I did not get the question.
Yung nag-issue ho kasi ng itong korte na kautusan na i-freeze yung mga salaping nakumpiska mula kay FPRD noong siya po ay naaresto.
Two things that comes to mind. Una, as I've said, so far as I know, wala pong basihan. Kasi nga, hindi nga natin alam kung ano yung madalian po nating pina-prepare yung mga konting damit na dala niya galing sa Hong Kong para lang may dala niya papunta sa Hague, ano? Kahit pa paano man, assuming mayroong pera na kaunti, anong relevance din sa kaso na yan? Pagdating doon sa mga personal effects ng presidente. So, then again, it begs the question, ano pong relevance? Relevancy ang tawag natin dyan sa ebidensya, no, pagdating sa kaso.
Opo. Attorney, bago ko lang ipasa kay partner Admar, sa issue naman po ng kalusugan ng dating Pangulong Duterte, sa tingin ho ninyo, kaya ho niyang maging present po doon sa pagdinig ng ICC sa mga darating na panahon?
I was thinking about that also, given his age and his health, no? I've seen him before he was flown out of the country. He was already weak, and we know that he's already 81 years old. And but I like to believe, no, kahit na medyo mahina siya, he would like to get this through insofar as the trial is concerned. Because even to this very day, he still believe two things. Na walang jurisdiction yung ICC, and he continue to invoke that position na wala pong jurisdiction ang ICC over him. And if ever there is a case, it should be brought before the Philippine court. Pangalawa, he continued to invoke his innocence in all the charges brought before him. So I'd like to believe that he will continue to, notwithstanding his physical well-being, he will see this through.
Opo, attorney, magandang umaga, may buntag si Admar po. Sa regular ba na korte, pwede pa ba maglatag sa kasalukuyan ng mga ebidensya na ang haba-haba na ng kanilang panahon at yung mga akusasyon nila way before pa at meron pang mga ganito? Pwede pa bang maglatag sila ng bagong ebidensya?
Yan ang hindi ko masagot ng direktsahan na Edman, patungkol sa ICC procedure. Kasi dito sa Pilipinas po, after arraignment, meron pong tinatawag na pre-trial kung saan yung mga both parties, the prosecution and the defense, ilalatag na nila yung mga ebidensya nila. And on the basis of what has been stipulated, marked as evidence during the pre-trial, that will now be the basis for the prosecution to prove their case on the basis of the testimonial and documentary evidence that were already agreed during the pre-trial, and as well as the defense. They will also have to limit their evidence based on what was already proposed during the pre-trial. Dito sa ICC, iba. Kasi nga, tapos na yung investigasyon, tapos na yung confirmation of charges hearing, noong February, ang sinasabi nila, the charges are already, there is enough evidence to proceed with trial. Ibig sabihin, meron na silang ebidensya, pero hanggang ngayon, kumukuha pa rin sila ng ebidensya, naghahanap pa rin sila ng ebidensya. Yun po ang nakapagtataka insofar as we Filipino lawyers are concerned. Kasi nga, hindi po nangyayari yan sa kaso. There are a few exceptions that happen. Yung tinatawag po nating newly discovered evidence. Ibig sabihin na discovery lang po natin during the course of the trial. And for that matter, the court may, in his discretion, allow. Pero iba po yung sinasabi nila rito eh. Yung mga ebidensya na kinukuha pa o dinadagdag pa doon sa nakuha na nakalap na nilang ebidensya. It's more of the same. So ibig sabihin that should have already been brought out much earlier than before the pre-trial. Before the trial would have begun.
Opo, at marami din pong mga nakapansin nga, no? Lalo na doon sa mga recent na mga paglalagda ni former President Rodrigo Duterte na tila nahihirapan na siya sa pagsusulat, attorney, at sa comment section maraming mga nagpahayag po ng pag-alala, no? Ng mga supporters sa dating Pangulo. Ano po masasabi niyo po rito?
I subscribe to that observation. I like to say this. Even before, when he was already bumaba na sa pwesto, at since I've been dealing with him in some legal matters, in one pleading, wala pa ito, hindi pa pumutok itong mga bangayan between the Marcos and the Duterte. I went to his house and I asked him to sign a pleading that he was supposed to sign. When he signed the pleading, he was already slow in signing. He was very careful in making his signature. That was about 2 years ago. So I would not be surprised na sa ngayon talagang mahina na yung pagsusulat ng dating Pangulo. And that is an indication of the state of health and mental well-being that he has at this moment. So I'd like to, for those who are listening right now, I'd like to ask for your continued prayer and support para patuloy na malakas yung kalooban ng presidente, malakas yung pangangatawan niya, no? That he would be able to see this through because he really wants this trial to be done, and that hopefully in God's own time he would be proven innocent.
Opo, kamakailan lang ay nagbabala ang ICC court, no, yung presiding judge ukol nga po dito sa pagkukomento ng mga partido, no, both ng nagpo-prosecute at depensa, mga media comments po, no. At pwede ba silang maglabas din ng gag order dito, attorney? Kasi marami din tayong mga naririnig sa kampo ng isa, pati yung mga sumusuporta doon sa mga nag-accuse dito sa dating Pangulo na hindi mo naman maiwasan, magre-reply din yung isa kasi tatanungin din sila, attorney.
Yes, actually, in the world of social media, and I'm new to this, no. Sometimes I'm even fascinated by how people react publicly, and how people react to the reactions of other people. And it's very dangerous, not only fascinating. Merong tinatawag na meme, merong mga tinatawag na mga social post na fake naman. I like to say that, no? At meron namang totoo pero exaggerated. Ibig sabihin, they try to exaggerate something that has been reported to be factual. So, yun po ang iniiwasan ng korte ng ICC as regards that. But I suppose yung gag order would be addressed to the parties and to the counsels, no, sa kaso. Kasi hindi nila mapigilan. Yung the world of social media, I don't think they would be able to prevent that. It's all around the world, people are reacting to this case. So even if they wanted to, and this is just my 2 cents worth of opinion, even if they wanted to gag people who have been commenting negatively or positively on the case, they would not be able to implement or execute whatever gag order they may have. Sa lawak ng usapin, sa dami na nag-uusap at nagdedebate patungkol sa kasong ito, mahirapan po yung korte to implement properly whatever order they may want to impose.
Opo, sa tingin niyo po may epekto po ba yung pagkakasangkot ng isang dating, yung prosecutor mismo ng ICC dito sa kaso po ni former President Rodrigo Duterte na sasangkot ngayon sa kontrobersya at ngayon nga ay kamakailan lang ay sinuspinde din siya. Nakikita niyo po bang may pwedeng mapagkunan doon ng hugot ang lalo na sa depensa? Baka nagawa lang ng prosecutor yon para may mga pagtakpan, attorney?
I don't want to speculate, ano? What I can probably say is that kung ginigiit ni Prosecutor Kang na walang basihan yung alegasyon na yan and he want to be treated fairly, I suppose that appeal should apply to the former president as well. Because what we've been saying is that he has not been treated fairly insofar as his case before the ICC is concerned. So, you know, if there is one rule that should be applied, it should be applied to all.
Huli na lamang po, attorney, buhay pa ba ang petisyon ninyo sa Korte Suprema at maaari pa rin ba itong makatulong para po dito kay former President Rodrigo Duterte sa ICC?
The petition that was filed by former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and Senator Bato de la Rosa is still pending before the Supreme Court. What is the latest incident actually is the pending motion for reconsideration that was filed by Attorney Bobe Torion for Senator Bato de la Rosa, and we would hope that the Supreme Court would resolve that sooner than expected, no? And hopefully would be able to resolve the main issue in this case. And having said that, to your question, obviously, whatever decision the Supreme Court may have on the petition filed by the former president would definitely have an effect on the ICC case pending before the ICC, I mean.
Opo. Attorney, follow-up lamang po at reaksyon mo na lang dito nga sa naging pahayag ni Shunichi Fujiki, kamakailan, yung Managing Director po ng International Carrier Support Association. Sabi po niya, the prolonged detention of former President Duterte without any formal charges is nothing less than a crime against humanity. They executed an arrest first only to begin building a case afterward. Inyo pong reaction doon, Attorney.
I would agree with that statement as to the relevant period. Ano? At the time he said that, wala pa pong confirmation of charges hearing. Kasi iba po yung, iba kasi ito sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. I'd like to explain that a little bit. Iba kasi sa Pilipinas, kasi you build up a case and then you file a case in court, and once the court finds what they call probable cause, dalawang determination of probable cause po yan. Unang determination of probable cause is by the prosecution for the purpose of filing a case before the court. And the court will now determine probable cause for the purpose of issuing a warrant of arrest. Ngayon, may warrant of arrest na, balik tayo dito sa ICC, may warrant of arrest na yung dating Pangulo, and yet hindi pa kino-confirm yung charges. Ibig sabihin, they still do not know whether they have a case or not, no? Until February. So, yung statement na yan is only good as of February this year. Kasi now that the ICC said na meron na pong there is enough evidence to proceed to trial, then trial will have to proceed insofar as the case of the former president is concerned. Pero tama po yung pagkasabi in the context of time na meron na kayong warrant of arrest, pero hindi pa kayo makapagsabi kung may kaso o wala. It was only on February 2026 na, okay, may sapat na ebidensya na pala tayo na ituloy yung kaso to trial. Hindi sapat na ebidensya na kumbiktado yung kaso. Hindi pa po. Malayo pa po tayo dyan.
Alright, Attorney. At kaugnay nga ng mga serye ng karahasang nangyayari dito sa ating bansa, iniuugnay na naman po si FPRD na siya daw yung nag-normalize ng karahasan. Attorney, ang context nito, yung nangyaring Tacloban shooting incident at iba pa. Ano masasabi po ninyo?
Natawa na lang ako dyan sa mga reaction na yan, ano? And I cannot even imagine that it's coming from the official statement of government. Ganito na lang masasabi ko, baka yung lindol sa Davao Occidental, iuugnay din nila kay former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Yun na lang siguro ang pwede kong masabi. Kasi wala na talagang wala nang kabuluhan yung reaction na yan eh.
Opo, opo. Attorney, siguro yung huling mensahe na lamang sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan, mga supporters po ng dating Pangulong Duterte, nanonood po at nakikinig po sa inyo sa mga oras na ito.
Thank you very much. Let's be keen on news coming from the ICC. Let's continue to monitor so that we'll be able to know exactly how the case is going right now, and especially the well-being of the former president. I appeal to you, continuously appeal to you for your prayers and support for the former president. He has been our president, the people's president for a long time, with only the people's interest in mind and heart. And it's time for us to give back to him what he needs most at this urgent time in his life, our prayer and support.